the story behind the One Love. In 1977, Jamaica was on the brink of civil war. Political violence between rival parties had torn the country apart, turning streets into battlegrounds and neighbors into enemies. Gunshots echoed through Kingston's neighborhoods every night, and fear had become a way of life. Bob Marley watched his beloved homeland tear itself apart. The man who had spent his career spreading messages of unity and peace through reggae music couldn't stand idle while his people suffered. But speaking out was dangerous. The violence wasn't just random, it was organized, political, and deadly. Then came December 3rd, 1976. 2 days before Marley was set to perform at a free peace concert called Smile Jamaica, gunmen broke into his home at 56 Hope Road. They opened fire. Bob was shot in the chest and arm. His wife Rita was shot in the head. His manager Don Taylor took 5 bullets. Miraculously, they all survived, though Rita's injury was particularly close to being fatal. Most artists would have canceled. Most people would have fled. But 48 hours later, Bob Marley walked onto that stage. His arm was bandaged, his body was in pain, but his spirit was unbroken. He performed for 90 minutes, sending a powerful message. Violence would not silence the call for peace. But Marley knew one concert wasn't enough. Jamaica needed something bigger, something that could actually bring people together. So he began planning something unprecedented. On April 22, 1978, Bob Marley returned to Jamaica for the One Love Peace concert. Over 32,000 people packed the National Stadium in Kingston. The lineup included some of reggae's biggest names, but everyone knew this was Marley's moment. When Bob took the stage, the energy was electric. He performed song after song, each one building towards something the crowd could feel but couldn't quite name. Then, during the performance of Jamming, Bob did something extraordinary. He called the 2 rival political leaders onto the stage, Prime Minister Michael Manley and opposition leader Edward Seaga. These were men whose supporters had been killing each other in the streets, men who represented opposite sides of a violent divide. Marley brought them together, center stage, in front of 32,000 people. He joined their hands together above his head in a gesture of unity that became one of the most iconic images in music history. The crowd went wild. For a brief, shining moment, it seemed like peace might actually be possible. The gesture didn't end Jamaica's violence overnight. Political tensions continued, and Marley himself would go into exile shortly after. But that moment represented something powerful. The belief that music could transcend politics, that unity was possible, that One Love could overcome division. One Love itself had been released years earlier in 1965, then re-recorded and released again in 1977 as part of the Exodus album. But after the peace concert, the song took on new meaning. It became an anthem not just for Jamaica, but for people around the world seeking unity and peace. The song's message is simple but profound. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. In a world divided by politics, race, religion, and violence, Marley offered a vision of universal brotherhood. Drawing from his Rastafarian faith, which emphasizes unity and equality, he created a message that transcended any single belief system. Today, One Love is recognized by the BBC as the song of the millennium. It's been covered by countless artists, featured in films and commercials, and played at gatherings around the world. But its power doesn't come from its popularity. It comes from the courage of the man who wrote it and the moment when he put everything on the line to make it real. Bob Marley could have stayed silent. He could have fled after being shot. He could have kept his music separate from politics. Instead, he risked his life to bring his people together, to turn his song into action, to prove that One Love wasn't just lyrics, it was a way of living. That's the real story behind One Love. It's not just a song. It's a testament to the power of courage, the possibility of unity, and the belief that music can change the world. Bob Marley gave us more than a melody. He gave us a vision of what humanity could be if only we'd have the courage to reach for it.